Hey, welcome back guys. So this is a follow-up video of the previous grease pencil tutorial we made where we went through all the basic tools you need to get started in 2D animation in Blender. But using Blender only for 2D animation is like driving a Lamborghini inside your garage. You're missing out on the most fun part. So Blender gives us the opportunity to combine 2D and 3D animation seamlessly, and that gives us a wide range of cool ideas and possibilities. So I've picked one specially for this video, a very simple one where we're going to go through the process of adding grease pencil objects to your 3D scene and how you can make those 2D objects interact with the 3D objects. So yeah, I'll also show you some of the grease pencil tools we did not cover in the first video. But first we need to create that 3D scene. Let's go. Okay, so here's our new Blender scene. So we're going to start from scratch. So I was thinking of making a really simple submarine that I'm going to make move in circles around here. Don't worry, there are not going to be any rigs, just a curve. I'll just use a curve and I'll constrain it to move around here. And then I'll add a grease pencil object and I'll draw fishes and animate them and make them move around the scene. Since I want to show you an animated 3D object, I could do it with a default cube, but it would be boring, so I wanted to make it with something more interesting, such as a submarine. So I'm going to add a mirror modifier to begin with, so we only will have to do half of the work, and I'll bisect it through this axis. So when I move here, it's going to do exactly what I'm doing on the other side. Alright, perfect. I'm going to scale it first. I'm going to select all of it by pressing A, and I'll scale it on the y-axis, and I'll move it up, and also I want to scale it on the x-axis. So now let's add some loop cuts. 4 loop cuts. I want to add some more loop cuts here at the top. So I'm going to add the tail. So for that I'm going here on the orthographic view, and I'll go into X-ray mode, and let me turn on proportional editing, and then I'll just scale this down like this. Let's scale it like this, and let's scale it on the x-axis as well. And then I'll add a loop cut here and move this forward. I was thinking of adding a sort of glass here. I'll just select this, and I think just an extrusion should be fine. So word like this, this. Alright, let's select these 3 and make an inset. Then I'll extrude it. I'll extrude it outward first, then I'll make another inset, then extrude it inside like this, so we can have a nice shape. I'll add another one here. So same thing. It's fine. Let's just add some wings. Same, I'll just inset it and I'll extrude it like this. Okay, maybe I'll rotate it like this to give it a nice shape. Yeah, interesting. It's got an interesting shape. I kind of like it. At the back here, do this. I'll extrude it again, scale it. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. Okay, no, first let's extrude this one up, this on the side here, and I'll extrude it like this, and I'll do the same down here. Okay, so now I am going to select these faces. I said this was not going to be complicated, but I'm making it complicated. I'll do an inset, and I'll extrude it inside this, and I'll delete the faces. How does it look? We don't want to see what's inside. Maybe this is the only part I needed to delete. This is actually the effect I wanted. I shouldn't have deleted all the other stuff, but it's okay. I can just select it like this. I can go into edge selection. I'm trying to do something here. It's actually cool inside. Alright, so we have selected the whole loop. I'm just going to press F to add a face. Yeah, I think it's better this way. Let's keep it like this. And I'll add propellers here. For now, let's not worry about this. Hey, this is looking much better than what I expected, but start overcomplicating it. I'm sorry guys, I know I said this was not going to be the most important part, but I couldn't help myself. Okay guys, I'm starting to like this too much. Okay, let's add the subdivision modifier now. Where is it? Okay. Not that bad. I'm just going to apply the shade smooth so it looks less blocky. Hey, I kind of like it. No, genuinely, I mean, like, it really looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to apply the mirror modifier so I can do the little touches I want here and there, adding the fins up here and here. Here. Okay, so now we have only one object. I think I'm going to add like those little scopes they have at the front, the submarines. They look like, to make it look not that bad. It's oh, it actually is looking better now. More like this. And then I'll add some loop cuts to make it straighter. Okay, so here we're going to do an inset. I'm wasting too much time on the details right now. Please. I'm wasting too much time on this. This was not supposed to be 30 minutes. So I can add a loop cut here. Make it sharp so it marks like this is yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Yeah, alright, so we're done with the modeling part. I'm not going to add any more details. This is not what was planned in the first place. So I'm going to quickly add the propellers here. For now, I'm just going to go into edit mode and I'll just select a plane here. And then I'll just shift the D, then on Y axis. Then I'm going to extrude it here also. 2 loop cuts here. Then I'm going to duplicate it again on the Y axis. And I'm going to move it inside here. This is all fake. Again, this is not a modeling tutorial, so I'm just going to do something really quickly. Because the most important part is the grease pencil part. Inside here. Alright, so I am done modeling. Now I'm just going to finalize this model. For these to be able to rotate alone, I need to separate them and make them separate objects. I'm just going to select them and press P. One at a time. So they're going to be 2 propellers apart. Actually 3, because I added another one here. Yeah, this is why I don't want to make modeling videos, because I just can't stop adding stuff. I just like doing this. I'm going to do the same for all of them. Then I'm going to select them and set the origin to geometry. Alright, we're all set now. So I'm just going to start adding materials. Okay guys, I finally finished texturing it, and honestly I did not expect this to look so good like this. It looks better with a line art. That's what I see from this wireframe mode. So we're going to add a line art modifier. For that we need to go into, first let me just get into my camera, because the line art modifier relies on the camera. And by the way, if you want to know how I am doing what I'm doing right now, I have a special video about navigation in Blender, and I invite you to check it out so you can know how to navigate efficiently inside the viewport. So I'm just going to place the camera here, and now let's add the crisp pencil lineart modifier. So I'm just going to select this, and I am going to press Shift A and go here in crisp pencil, and I'm going to add object lineart. So now you can see that when I place myself inside my camera, I can see the lineart. And I am going to tweak it a little. Okay, so when you go into the modifiers tab, after selecting the lineart, you can tweak some settings. And I think the black color is okay. It makes the yellow pop a little more, so I'm going to keep it. And here I am going to select the material borders, and also I want to add edge marks. So basically what this does is that when you select the submarine and you say want this edge to have the line art, you can just select it, and you can press Control E, I think, yeah, Control E, and mark edge. Yeah, here. Is it freestyle edge? Mark freestyle edge, yeah. And basically it allows you to add the line art here. So yeah, I'm going to turn that on, and I'm going to play with the settings until I have the line art I want. Okay, so I just think I'm going to change the color of the lines. I'll change the material to, I don't know, blue, maybe a dark blue. Oh wait, does not seem to look so bad. Okay guys, so I finished tweaking the values of the lineart modifier, and yeah, as you can see, I also allowed myself to add some more colors on the windows, and I also enabled a material border, so every time the material changes, it creates a line art. We're going to animate the submarine. For that, I need to come here, and I'm going to parent the propellers to the. Let me just hide the line art. Oh, by the way, for the line art modifier, I put it inside the submarine collection, and I also changed the source type to collection, and I selected the submarine as a collection. And since the propellers are inside the submarine collection, so they also have a line art. Okay, so now let's parent the propellers. Okay, I'll just select this one and click Shift select this and Control P object. I'll do the same for these two. And now they are parented to the submarine. Right, so I'm going to just hide the line art because it's disturbing me. And I'm going to place the submarine here. Also, I scaled it down a little, so I applied the scale, and I also changed the origin to geometry because it's going to be important for the curve we are going to add. And first, let's start animating the propellers. To animate the propellers, it's really simple. I'm not going to add any rig or anything. I'm just going to change this so you can see better. So you can see that I set the geometry to the origin of this propeller, and I am just going to animate its rotation on the y-axis. And to do that, this is what I need to do. I'm just going to add a driver by writing this expression here, frame, which means that every single time the frame changes, the rotation of the propeller on the y-axis is going to be incremented. And I'm going to make it a small value. So if you want to make it faster, you can multiply by something, or if you want it to be slower, you can divide it. In my case, I want it to be slow. I'm going to divide it. So let me just bring my timeline here. And when I play, you can see that it's rotating. And yeah, I think this is a decent speed. Okay, so I thought I had been recording this whole time. I don't know when the video stopped, but So far what I did was I added a driver to the propellers, and I copied the driver to this one and this one. And for this one I added a negative value to the expression so we can have it rotate on the other direction. I need to animate this guy moving in circles, so I'm going to add a curve and I'm going to scale it up, bring it up like this, and I'm going to apply the scale. Control A, apply the scale, and now I need to select the submarine, and I'm going to add a constraint. I'm going to add a curve constraint, a follow path constraint, sorry, and I'm going to select the Bezier circle as our target, and I'm going to change the forward axis to -y. Don't ask me how I know this. It was just trial and error until I found I never know which one it is, and I'm too impatient to find. And okay, I just have to click on animate path and it should be moving, but it's moving way too fast. Let's fix the speed, which I can do here. When you go to the path animation here on the curve properties, I am going to change this to 250, which is the length of our animation. So now it's moving at the right speed, but I want it to be on the curve. All I had to do was move the submarine down. Yeah. Okay, so it's on the curve now, and yeah, we have our animation. So what I want to do now is to add a little bit of variation to the animation. So I want this part to go up like this one as well, right? So it makes the animation more interesting. See? Okay, so we are done with the animation part. So now let's start preparing the scene for the grease pencil. Before we go any further, don't forget to turn on to enable Z passes. It's going to help you with the render. It's going to tell you at some point anyway when you're going to render that you need to enable the Z passes for grease pencil objects. So don't forget to do it. And after that, we are going to make the background transparent, right? You could change the word color and make it something more brighter, but the problem is that when you change that, it is going to affect the lighting of your scene, and we don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make it transparent here on compositing. So you just click on enable use nodes, and I'm going to add an alpha over node. Now let me just place this here, and I'm going to press Ctrl Shift and then click here, so we have the viewer and we can see what we're doing in the compositing. So now you can see that this is how our render is going to look. When I hit render, you're going to see this is our background, and this is normal because I have not enabled transparent yet in the engine settings. So I'm going to come here and I'll enable transparent, and now when I render again, you can see that our background is white. So if you're not comfortable drawing with a dark background, you can do it like this, and then have it be a white background while you're drawing, and then whenever you're done and you want to add something else, you can change the color or add a texture. Since I don't have a problem, and this is going to be a really simple drawing, so I'm going to add a texture from the beginning, and I want something like a sort of gradient in the background to make it look like it's a submarine environment. So I'm going to come here on the texture tab. Well, first let me just add a texture here. I'll add a texture node. I'll place it here, and I'll plug it in here, right? I know it's empty, so it's normal that you don't see here anything. So I'm just going to come here in the texture tab and I'll click new texture. And in the type, I'm going to change it to blend. I am going to go with a spherical type. And on the colors, I'm going to enable color ramp. Now I'm going to play with the values of the color ramp. And also I want the alpha to be at 1. Okay, same here. And I'm going to change the colors and make it something more like underwater, not selected here. Okay, so we have our background now. And you see that this color is bright enough for me to draw on it, so I prefer to set it right away. And then if you want to move the circle on the left side or the right side, you can play with the offset here. But I don't really bother about that right now. It doesn't bother me. It's okay. And I am going to disable use alpha, because when you let it enabled, it makes the render be kind of transparent. Well, that's a problem I had yesterday, but anyway, I'm going to disable it. And here I'm going to turn on the compositor here, camera, so we can see what's happening inside the compositor. And look at this. This looks interesting, right? This looks really nice. And yeah, I also want to add something that's going to make the scene a little more interesting, which is the shadow of the submarine. I want it to be casted here, down here. So for that, I am going to add a plane. Okay, I have my plane here, and I'll just call it ground. And I am going to give it a shadow capture material. Now, what's a shadow capture? Basically, it's just a way for me to cast shadows without this being visible. So for that, we have one of the conditions already met, which is to have the background being transparent. And the second one is to give this guy the shadow capture material. So I'm going to quickly create a material I'll call shadow capture. And I also need to change the blend mode to alpha blend, right? And let's go to shader editor quickly so I can show you how it's going to be set up. I am going to replace the principal BSDF by a diffuse BSDF here. And I'm also going to add a mix shader here. And I'm also going to need a transparent BSDF here. And I'm going to plug these here. And also I'm going to add another diffuse right here that I'm going to use for the factor. And I need to change it. Since I need to put it in the factor, I need to convert it to a color. So for that, I'm going to add a shader to RGB. And then let's just plug it here. Okay, it might look like I'm a super expert in shaders, but it's not the case. I just memorized something I learned on the internet from Ryan King. So yeah, this is how he did it. I need to add a strong light source so that the shadows are casted, because this depends on the light source. So I'm going to add. I really like the color. You see how the gradient is like makes it look so much more interesting. Okay, I think I messed up the shader. Let me just open my notes and see how it looks like. I forgot this one. Okay, I found a problem. It was just the diffuse BSDF I had here. I could either turn it black, change the color to black, or just removed it, and it's now casting the shadows much better. Hey, look at this. This is really cool. I'm going to scale it a little more. I love it. Okay, now we can add some drawings. I think we did everything we had to do for the 3D part. And now let's start adding drawings. Did I just say how much I like how it looks? No, I actually really do. Let's add the grease pencil object. So I'm going to press Shift A and add a grease pencil blank, right? And I'm going to put it in its own collection. I'll call it grease pencil fish, because we're going to first animate a fish. And yeah, basically its origin is here. Let me bring back my timeline. I can now go into draw mode and start drawing. Right? Alright, so I have my tablet now plugged in. So I'm going to change the pencil in the brush. And I'll just take this one. We just make a basic fish. This is going to be the color layer. By the way, if this is your first time watching this, I made a video about the basics, so you might want to watch that one first before watching this one. Let's start with let's just do some basic shapes. Let's say it's basic. Great. Anyway, and then let's move 3 frames, and let's add a new. And I want to see the onion skinning, so I'm going to turn onion skinning on. Okay, here I can see it. So I am going to make it. I don't know what kind of fish this is, but you get the idea. This is just to show you how it goes. How about this? So let's color it now. I'm just going to create a quick material. Fish color. Okay, so I'm going to create another keyframe here for this layer. Same here. Okay, so we have our drawings, right? And you can see they coexist on the same viewport as these ones. I'm going to show you how it looks like when you go inside the viewport. So this is where they are. You see? So this is the origin of the drawing, the grease pencil object. And the drawings are right now set to be drawn on the origin, right? From the view. So if I had changed the camera to another direction, the drawing would be facing that direction. Alright, so I want this drawing to be a cycle, and I want this guy to cross the screen horizontally. How do I do that? Currently, I did not find a way to add this to the dopsheet action editor. So I found on the internet yesterday a trick to do that. So for that, you need to select your grease pencil object and come here into the modifier tab and add a time offset modifier. And then I'm going to change the mode to fixed frame, and we're going to create a frame for a keyframe for the first keyframe here, for the first frame of the animation, which is frame 1, and then for the last frame, which is frame 5, right? And now we can go to the dop sheet here, and now we can see it. You can see it if you have not created keyframes with the modifier. I don't know why, but yeah, for the moment it's this way. So I'm going to change this to fish, And yeah, we have our fish animation. I can also save it by enabling a fake user, and I'll push it down so it goes to the, so I can go to the nonlinear animation. And now here I can cycle it. I'm just going to select it and come here to action. No, sorry, it's action clip. And I'll repeat it all the way until the end of our animation, which is really long for some reason. We have cycle. Oh, this is really fast. Just came back to the action editor and I edited it, so I think now it should be slower. And now let's go back to the nonlinear animation, which is here, and let's delete this one. We don't need it, X. And this is the new one we have, which is slower now. Let's play it. Yeah, this is more like it, even though it's still fast. We do better with the jellyfish. Yeah, I spoiled it. We're going to make a jellyfish. So I'm going to make this guy cross the screen, and for that, am I in object mode? Yeah, I'm in object mode. So I'm going to place him here. I'll create a keyframe here for the location, and then I want him to be here. So he's going to move very fast. I might change the timing later. So I might make him move a little slower like this. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, so now let's add another one. Okay, I just also realized that I had forgotten to change the color management to standard. So we might have a blast when we change. Oh dang. Okay. Okay, now let's look into the effects you can add to a grease pencil object. And for that, we are going to add a new grease pencil object, and this time we're going to animate a jellyfish. And you know, the property of the jellyfish that I want to showcase this time is their glow effect. And I am going to name this jellyfish. Yeah, let's put it inside its own collection. Okay, so we have our jellyfish object. And now we are going to make a really simple drawings, just as we did for the fish. Let's make a simple swim cycle if they're tentacles. And I'll use the sculpt tool. Okay, so I have my keyframes and this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to cycle it as I did for the fish. Okay, so I finished cycling it, and now we can start giving it the glow effect. But I think the color I gave it by default looks a little too glowy, so I'm going to change it and make it a little darker so we can really see the glow effect in action. I'm also going to make the line art a little darker like this. Okay, perfect. So now for the glow effect, first we're going to add a modifier, which is the tint modifier, right? And then I'm going to go in effects and I'm going to add the glow modifier, right? And I'm going to change the blend mode to add, and back in tint I'm going to change the color to glowish color like this. Oh, this one looks really interesting. But I don't know, what kind of color do you guys want me to put? Yeah, I think it looks okay, but you get the principle. You can add this tint so it makes the glow effect even more even brighter. So if you don't have it, this is how the glow effect looks like. It looks much brighter with the with this guy on. So yeah, you can try it for yourself and see what suits you best. Okay, so I played a little bit with the base color, and yeah, I think we're going to stick to this one. Alright, so now I want to show you one more trick, which is the interaction between the grease pencil object and the 3D object. So I'm going to add bubbles here, coming from the propellers, and I'm going to use grease pencil for that. But before we do that, I want this guy to go back to the origin of the word. So I'm going to come here to the constraint tab, and I'm going to hide this as well. Guys, honestly, this submarine looks really cool. I like it. I don't know if I said it, but okay. Anyway, let's start drawing. I'm going to add a new grease pencil object, which I'm going to name bubbles, and I think I'm going to place it here. Even so, I'll show you later how to attach it there, so you can follow the submarine during the animation. Okay, now that I have added my bubbles grease pencil, I am going to start drawing. Okay, now we are in draw mode. So for the drawing plane, we can either choose the view. So whatever I'm going to draw is going to be oriented from this viewing angle. But when the drawing is going to start, when the drawings are going to be attached to the back of the submarine and it starts moving, it's going to stay in this viewing angle. So when the submarine is going to get when it's going to get around here, you're going to see that it's going to be really flat. But I have a solution for that. We shouldn't have a really flat effect. And this is the best drawing plane we can use for that kind of for this kind of effect. Because if we use this one or this one, it's going to look really weird when we are going to attach it to the submarine. So let's go with this view drawing plane, and let's start animating. Start with something simple. Bubbles, we say, right? And then obviously I'm going to cycle it as I did for the other animations. You know what? I think I'm also going to change my viewing angle and come out of the camera and start to make the drawings less on the, you see right now it's only on this plane, but since I can move here inside the viewport, I can make it look like it's on the other plane. So when we are going to see it from behind, it's going to look more interesting. So I'm going to do both. On some frames I'll come here, and on some others I'll just stay there, right? Okay, so I finished animating the bubbles. I'm going to hide this so we can see the effect a little. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And I try to change my drawing angle a little so it does not look the same from all the angles. And now I am going to attach it to the back of the submarine. So for that, I am going to go here in edit mode, and I am going to create a vertex group here. So I want the bubbles to have this as their origin, and I'm going to select maybe just this one, yeah, this one as a vertex group, and I'll call it a bubbles hook, and I'll just select this edge and I'll click assign, right? And now when we go to go back to the bubbles, and I am going to come here in the constraint. I'm going to add a copy location constraint, which I'm going to set the target to submarine, and add the bubbles hook here as the vertex group so it can place it at the back. And also I'm going to add a copy rotation, which I am going to do the same. Target is okay, my bad. For this copy rotation we don't need to add the vertex group. Alright, I think we are all set right now. Let's see how it looks like. Let's come back here. Let's go back to our camera and let's enable the follow path. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, I think it looks good. We have the bubbles. Yeah, it's true that it looks really 2D, but that's the effect we were trying to get. So yeah. So I have one last thing to show you, which is the interpolation tool, which I didn't show you last time, and the mask. So I'm going to create add another grease pencil object so I can show you that one tool. Yeah, let's get to it. But so far this looks very nice. I like it. Okay, so I just created the grease pencil object, and let's start animating it. The thing is, actually, we are not even going to animate it. We're going to make just one frame of the bubble. Let's say this is our bubble, and this is our first frame. And we don't want to animate the bubble because I don't know, we're too lazy for that. Let's go to the 80s frame, and I'll click I and duplicate active keyframe. And here I am going to select all the points of my grease pencil object, and I can do any transform I want right now at this point. I can scale it, I can rotate it, or I can use the sculpt tool to shape it a little, which is actually what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to use the sculpt tool to shape it a little bit. And yeah, we have 2 frames right now, right? But I want what is in between, and I don't want to draw it by hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this keyframe and this one, both of them, and I'm going to go in between, like the center, the middle of this interval, which is 40, right? And I'm going to go in draw here and go interpolate sequence, right? And I can basically here choose the spacing between the in-betweens, and I think I can go with three frames. And you can also change the type of the interpolation. You can add a custom one with this interpolation type, or you can use exponential or all these presets. Let's try this one. I never tried it. I just want to show you what you can do with this interpolation sequence. So basically it creates in between drawings in the 2 frames the 2 keyframes you've created, and it has to be the same keyframe basically. Like you can't, if you do it, if I had created a keyframe here, then I create another one in a new drawing, new strokes, the interpolation would not look really good. It would not work at all. It has to be the same strokes that you change with some basic transform, like scaling, rotating, or using the sculpt tool, or I don't know, moving it. You can also move it anywhere you want. And yeah, basically it interpolates it for you. So this is how what it does, right? See? So yeah, it did this without me drawing any keyframe in between. So this is really cool and can come in really handy sometimes. Now for the colors, interesting part. We could do the same. Like color this part here. Sometimes it works, sometimes some of the frames in between are a little off. Let's do this. And here I am going to use the sculpt tool. First I'm going to duplicate the active keyframe, and I'm going to use the sculpt tool to make it match the lines. Right, so we have something that looks a little like this, and yeah, I can try to do the same. Select these, come to the middle and click draw, interpolate sequence, and we have the same presets of what we had earlier. So yeah, if everything goes well, it can look exactly the same. So yeah, we are lucky this time it does. So yeah, there you go. And yeah, I'm going to show you the masking the mask tool that I did not show you last time. So let's say you want to add a bit of shadow for this bubble or highlights. You're going to create a layer, add a layer on top of actually not on top of the lines. It depends on what you want to do, but usually it's on top of the color layer. So I'm going to call this I don't know, make it shadow. It's more common. And I'm going to move it below the lines because I don't want it to affect the lines. And I'm going to disable use lights, and I'm going to click on to enable masks. And here basically I can, by clicking the plus button, I can add the layers I want to use as my mask. And currently we only have the color layer, so I'm going to add it. And now when I come to my shadow, I also need to change the blend mode to multiply, right? And I'm going to create a material for this. Just make it a little brighter so the shadows are not too strong. This. And yeah, I can now go to my shadow layer and I can draw my shadows, which I'm going to do like this. So you can see that I'm going to start here to show you that the masking tools works. See, when I'm drawing outside of the mask layer, it's not going to do anything, right? So now I can freely draw my shadows, and obviously this is just for one frame. If I want to have it on the whole animation, I can either draw it and myself, or I can do the same thing I did for the other two layers, which is what I'm going to do because I'm lazy. And I'm going to create another keyframe here, and I'll use the sculpt tool. Same process. I'll select these two, come in between, click draw, interpolate sequence, and yeah, we're done. Oh, sorry. And this is what it looks like. Alright, so yeah, basically that's all I wanted to show you in this video, and I think you now have all the tools you need to make some cool stuff with Crisp Pencil and just 3D objects. So yeah, we're done. The animation is done. It doesn't look extremely good, but yeah, this is just to show you what you can do with it, and I hope you learned something today. Yeah, so after watching these two videos I made about Crisp Pencil, I think you have now all the elements you need to make your own project. And yeah, as I always say, you need to try it for yourself and create your own project, practice, experiment with it, and I'm sure you'll be improving in no time, right? So thanks guys for watching this video, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.